Welcome back to the Journeyman Cave, everybody. This is round 59, and it's another end-of-series recap. So with me, as always, Mr. Mark Shakespeare. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, we're all good, buddy, all good.
It's been a while since we did one of these. I nearly forgot to do one.
Yeah, do you know what? It has been a while, hasn't it? It's been a bit of a wacky season, hasn't it, really, buddy? But we have to mention it again about things being getting in the way and stuff, but it's been completed, another series in the bag, mate.
Yeah, and moving on to the next one very soon, if all being well.
Yeah, we've got a bit of travelling, hopefully, coming up in next series with some big names. Some really, really big names, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just hope they come to fruit, and it'll be a treat, I think, for the old listeners.
Yeah, well, that's the whole reason we do it. So, I look back at Series 6. Do you know how we're doing this? I kept putting 5. I don't know why. Yeah, obviously we're going through them quicker than we realised. So, Series 6, and like you say, it was a bit of a protracted series. We had some enforced breaks and what have you, but we got there in the end. And I'm not going to lie, I think one of the best ones were what we kicked off with Latif Mohammed.
Oh, he knows his stuff, does Latif, doesn't he, bless him? It was quite funny, that, as well, because he had a little link to Barnsley we never knew about, didn't he, as well?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'd seen him on the circuit a few times, hadn't we?
Yeah.
And he seemed to recognise us as logo and stuff and have a little chat with us and all that. And after I'd been to a show, I can remember saying that. I says, do you fancy coming on, Latif? And he goes, oh, I'd love to, Mark. And he just jumped at the chance, didn't he? And yeah, even though he hadn't fought professionally or not that, he definitely knows his stuff, you know, got his training licence. Now he's doing a bit of managing, I think, with top tier boxing since we last spoke to him on our interview. And he's a good kid.
Brilliant storyteller.
You're just taking the words out of my mouth. He had some great stories, didn't he? I think we could have done a three-part episode with Latif, actually, in his stories.
I think we could. I think, you know, we will get you back, Latif. I think we maybe did cut that one a bit short. But, I mean, the story about they're trying to find a place with that boxing on for Evander Holyfield and his entourage, and they end up finding a terraced house in Donny.
And he wanted to sit next to Tyson, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Holyfield, didn't he?
Holyfield, no, it was one of his bouncers, or minders, wanted to sit next to Holyfield, and he made him sit on the floor.
He did.
Mr. Latif was sat there.
That's Latif, mate. He's in charge, isn't he?
Yeah, brilliant episode. That if you haven't heard it, I genuinely implore you to check it out. It's brilliant. So after that, we had in Marcin Prostko.
Yeah. Now, this come about, didn't it? We our good friend Liam Wright, didn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. We knew Liam, obviously, we're doing his training and stuff. I still see Liam odd time for a coffee. You know what I'm like with a coffee, mate. I love him. And he said, we've just got from our gym, someone turned over, Marcin Prostko. And I went, oh, yeah. And I said, oh, he lives in Wakefield, not far from you, Mark. I thought, well, we've got to get him in, haven't we? I mean, he just started off, and he also did a bit of M&A, didn't he, as well?
Well, do you see that? Well, I'm going to mention that because I enjoyed him pulling you up on saying M&A.
I did it then, didn't you say
did it then as well?
And you took it out of me, Rex. I was going to actually say MMA and tell him that I hadn't forgot from last time. But you pulled me up before him, so it just proves that Scarfe has got the brains in this outfit.
Brilliant. Yeah, nice kid, Marcin.
He was a great guy, wasn't he?
And he actually he's had a draw since we saw him. I remember doing posts for him.
Well, I know we're struggling to get his licence for a little bit. I know if he didn't have his brain scan done or something, which held him back for a few months. But I've messaged him since, and he's now back out. Like you said, he had a draw since. So he's obviously, thankfully, he's had his scan and everything's all clear and he's good to go. So it's going to be a big year for him, I think, with Liam, I think, this year. Yeah,
we'll keep an eye out for Marcin. Moving on to the next, this was when we'd started having to take breaks and stuff, but we got Kyle Whitterman, Sheffield lad, Blade, Sheffield fan. So there was some good stuff about, banter with Wednesday nights and that, because his mates with Ryan Hardy.
He most certainly is, mate. And that's one of the reasons we got him in, wasn't it? I did mess him about, I can't remember off my top of my head, and I really I'm sorry for this, mate, but there was somebody Kyle who wanted to get in touch with about him, and when I did message him about this, he says, oh, if you ever need me to come on the show, I'd love to come on. He says, I don't class myself as a journeyman. He says, but I've got a lot of good stories. I know people like Lee Connolly and all that. And he says, I'd love to help you out if I can in any way possible. Like, and I said to him, I says, well, if you want to come through, Carl, you're more than welcome to come on anytime, mate. And yeah, really, he had some really good story of really, knowledgeable what Kyle wanted. And it was the first real proper interview we did in Jim's studio as well, that one, wasn't it?
Yes, we did. Right.
And he turned up and did an absolute cracking interview. And he also brought us on to his next episode as well, didn't he? Because they had a little bit of rivalry with him and his next one, and we're going to come on to actually as well, in Lee Duncan.
A certain Mr. Lee Duncan.
But yeah, Kyle were absolutely amazing. It was a pleasure to have him on. I'll have to message him actually, because I haven't messaged him for a while, and I try and keep in touch with everybody. So I will do that. And I know Ryan Hardy's been getting a bit of stick since this episode's come out, calling him a blade like he does. So yeah, great episode and a great guy.
He were, and then as you say, not long after we got Lee Duncan in.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we had a talk, didn't we? With both of them, and Lee seemed to think he got the better of Carl, and Carl seemed to think he got the better of him. But that's boxing, isn't it? It's where it happens. Two great fighters, and yeah, I really, really like Lee, and I find him quite inspirational with what he was doing with his work about the mind and positive thinking. It's something I could really do with going forward, and it really hit me a little note with me, that one did. And it's good to see Lee doing stuff like that in his job, and I really hit me, that did.
He posts quite a bit on Instagram. I know you're not really on Instagram,
no, I'm not
so
on
you'll
that,
not
mate.
see him, but he seems to be quite active and busy, so fair play to him.
Yeah, and a good fighter as well. He could handle himself, and he caused a few upsets here and there as well. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Lee who said that he actually went on, which we never thought we had before. I think he went on the road and fought someone like a Suns promoter or something like that, and actually got the result.
I can't remember. It was a while ago.
It was. We'll have to look at that before we put that bit out. But I'm sure he got a really, really shot decision out of the blue, which he's never expected to get. And I think it's one of the best I've ever seen on the road.
Yeah, brilliant guy. And so moved on next, we got Kashra Zugalian, and I'm no doubt mispronounced that again, as you pulled me up on it on an episode. He'd only had 3 fights.
Yeah. I'd watched his last fight, and he'd been stopped. And I thought, well, I'll try and find him on the old Facebook, the old school, and I saw a picture of this cartoon drawing he does for his Facebook profile, and I thought, is it this really him? Cashier? So I messaged him, and he says, yeah, and I messaged him about his result that he just got stopped on, and he said he was a bit gutted about it, and I asked him if he wanted to carry on, if he was, and he says, yeah, I want to keep carrying on, taking a couple of months out with uni. I think his partner is pregnant as well, so that's obviously got in the way as well. But then when he said he was from Wakefield, a bit like Martin, to be honest, I says, well, would you like to come over? He said, I'd love to come over, Mark. Like they all do, to be honest. It's a credit to us, that, really, mate. And yeah, he come over, and it was a really good interview, wasn't it? And it was nice to see, hear about Iran as well, wasn't it? And they all stuff like that as well.
Oh, yeah, his nickname's the Sasanian Assassin.
Quality.
Try saying that after a few pints.
Oh, good God. We can't even say his name without any. Apologies for that, buddy, but, we try his best.
He were a really smashing lad.
Yeah, wish him all the best as well. Hopefully he'll get out a few times this year. I'm looking forward to seeing him maybe on the road.
Has he not been out since then?
No.
We met him, right?
No, we were hoping to get out when we had this interview before the Christmas, but obviously it hasn't happened. But as you know, if his partner's, pregnant and he's working, he's also doing uni work, I'm sure he'll be back. I think he's only very young, mate. He's got plenty of time on his hands. Yeah,
he certainly has. And at this point, we did another of the Live from the Away Corner episodes in our hometown and in the Metrodome in Barnsley. How many did I interview? 8? I think I managed to call 8 people.
Did Latif pop up on this one
Latif
again?
Popped up on this one as well. He gets around, doesn't he?
He does.
Gets me what I can't.
He bloody does, doesn't he? He's a good lad. But yeah, thanks to Josh for inviting him. We've said that again on the show, and it's a pleasure doing the seconds for him on that night. It always is. It's always good to help fellow Barnsley lads out. Happy to do that. And yeah, we met some really nice fighters on that night who we hadn't seen before, who we're hoping to get on the show this year at some point. We had some top fighters on there, like Richard Elm, didn't we? Dylan Courtney were there. We got the old Chuck Norris were there, one of the old Jake Bray. Yeah. Ryan Leborn was well we got, and a few others. And met some good friends on that night as well.
Yeah, I enjoy doing them nights. I mean, you'll be in and out doing your seconds and what have you, and I just picked up. I mean, in this one, I think I put it in corridor, didn't I?
Yeah.
I didn't really want to. I don't like to intrude and getting wait. People are getting ready and getting the hands wrapped and what have you. So I thought, I'll just set up in corridor and grab people as they come past. And I really enjoy them. Really short, 2-minute interviews, everybody. And like you said, it'd be nice to get some of them lads back for a full-length interview sometime.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also, if anyone ever wants us to come to a show, like I said, I'm happy to, I'll second for them. And if they want me to interview some away fighters for them, we'll do that anytime, mate. We're always available if they want to get in touch.
Absolutely. It's two for price of one, isn't it? Get you in seconds and get me interviewing them.
Yeah,
outside.
it's two birds with one stone, as they say, isn't it, mate? It's a pleasure to do it, and we don't mind helping people. That's what we're here for.
Exactly. And hopefully we'll get to do a couple of them again this year.
I'm sure we will, mate.
So then after that, back to the long-form interviews, and we got Conor Meanwell in. Another, he brought his young lad with him, who were good as gold. You didn't even know until you mentioned it on episode that you were there.
No, it's like he says, everything our George ain't really, innit? But, yeah, me and Connor's obviously been in touch for a while, and even though he didn't remember that we did that with Jake in Birmingham when we first met him, and that's how I got in contact with him when we went to do Jake's Corner in Birmingham, didn't we? And Connor were there with Carl Greaves, as we mentioned in the interview. And when he went on the road, I thought, I'm going to give him a message, it's only fair. And as you listen on that interview, he's really good. He comes across really well, doesn't he? And it's like he said, even though he didn't start off to be in the way corner, problems got in the way of his life, and he just thought it was better to go on the road and earn a bit of money when he needed it, really.
Yeah.
And he's one of them guys who we mentioned again, who he's still got a few ambitions, and he still wants to win at least an area title, I think, and he's definitely got it in him. If his path crosses at the right time, you never know, he just might get that chance. But at the minute, he's on the road, he's doing well, he's keeping busy, and he's getting well looked after by Carl. So long may it continue with him. Great interview.
Yeah, good luck to him. Hopefully catch you to show sometime, Connor. So then, the last of the interview episodes, local lad, Neil Kirkwood.
Oh, I think it were I mean, it's been nearly a year in the making. I mean, it's funny, but he keeps saying, I mean, he's now getting quite popular, isn't he? Obviously, with losing his weight and stuff. He's really getting his life back together. He's had a tough time. And again, I like to go for a coffee with him every so often, and he keeps saying, I'm going to come on your show, Matt. I want to come on your show. I know you'll do a good job for me. And I says, yeah, whenever you're ready, Neil, whenever you're ready. Then we were having a date one day, then it got cancelled, this and that. And then out of the blue, he just said, I'm just coming back from Tenerife, Mark. Have you got any dates spare? People have been pushing me for this interview on your podcast. And we did it with one of your good friends' places, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, so I can't remember the reason why we couldn't get in here, because we normally record it with the Mink, obviously. Don't think we could have got into gyms. So basically, I was booking gigs at a venue called the New Travellers. And long story short, the guys there moved to another bigger venue, which is opening soon. But anyway, so I asked Diana if by any chance we could use their place. And she willingly obliged and let us in. And I managed to spill a Coke everywhere. So that would get us something to do, didn't it? But yeah.
We're going to have fun at show, though, didn't we?
Yeah, and do you know what? I honestly, one of my favourite episodes, I think, Neil. Again, another good storyteller.
Oh, God, yeah. It were nice to reminisce a little bit with some old fighters and go back in time a little bit. And yeah, what a career he had, really. And like you said, if things were happening a different way, it could have been a lot different, couldn't it? We've had a few on like that, haven't we?
Like I said on episode, them sliding doors moments.
They are, mate. I couldn't put it better myself than that.
Yeah, so highly recommend that one as well. It's a good top and bottom end of the series with Latif and Neil. Like I said, both really good storytellers. And yeah, and he's fighting he's fighting again in April.
Yeah, he's fighting in April on one of his white collar shows that he does. That was his challenge, to lose 20 stone and to come back and fight on his own show in April at the Metrodome. And I think he's got Big Joe Egan, Auntie, coming to do his corner on that night, so it should be interesting.
Yes, he did say that. Are we going to that?
I'm sure we will do. We'll have to go and see him. There'll be a couple of lads there like Tony Cruz and that knocking somebody out probably. These ex-boxers who show him how it's done. So I'm sure we can go and support him on that. It'd be rude not to, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I reckon so. So that was the end of the interviews. And then we did a couple of extra episodes just to round things off. We did because it coming to the end of the year, we did the Journeyman of the Year award, which we sent to Victor Edaga. It's quite a little heavy trophy, that, you know.
It bloody is, isn't it?
You weren't that cheap.
I tell you what, I could knock somebody out with that, I tell you. Definitely. I'll have to put that in some away fighters' gloves. Or buy two and stick them in
damage
gloves.
If you do that. So, yeah, again, I enjoyed talking about that. And, sort of like figuring out who we thought deserved it, and that was only a bit of fun. We're not serious, but I think we'll do it again this year.
You do it every year, mate. I mean,
you have to pick up your game, lads and lasses, and you never know, you might be the recipient of the prestigious award yourselves at end of 2025.
Oh, it's pure gold and all that trophy. It's no, but it was just nice to actually reminisce on the year gone by and who done what, and we'll talk in a bit about who to look out for this year and stuff. And yeah, I think it were only, like I said, we don't really have an away fighter of the year award like we used to do back in the day. So even though we're only small, at least we can do it. And I think the guys appreciate it. And all the fighters who got a mention really liked it. And we got a few comments saying, why don't you mention this guy? Why don't you mention that guy? And that to me proves that there were some people who did a really good job last year.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to keep a track of everybody, isn't it? But we do our very best to see who's doing what. And, that's why you'll see us do posts when people do get a result on the road. So, yeah, one more to talk about. I mean, it's a shame we had to do it, but we did a tribute to Carl Allen.
Had to do it, mate. Had to do it. It's gone down really well. We've had some really good responses and a heck of a lot of listens and views on Facebook for us in the time it's been out, and that's all I wanted, because he needs his story to be told. We can't let this guy be forgotten, just like anybody who goes like that. And I also know that his wife really appreciated it, and his family as well. And I have messaged his wife and told me, she said, really thank you, we appreciate it. And I think between us, we did the job we set out to do. We've got Carl's story out there a little bit. Thank you to all the fighters who got involved and made it happen. It really is appreciated. And I'm just happy that we've given Carl a little platform. It might not be much, but every little help's done it, and we'll carry on doing that for anybody.
Yeah, and it's and it's there. It's out in the ether now, so you can listen to it forevermore. And if anybody does find themselves looking up someone about Carl Allen, they might stumble across our episode and hear the opinions of people he fought and met and friends with.
Because he's fought some great fighters, mate, and I just hope that people do keep listening to it, and it keeps getting out there, because he deserves it.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. So I suppose it's a good time to do it, really. It's early in the year, 2025 ahead. Who do we need to keep an eye out for this year?
So I'm trying to pick 3 or 4 fighters, but I'm going to narrow it down to 2 this year, mate. I'm looking out for this year. They both made the shortlist this year for the Journeyman Award, but didn't quite take the trophy. But the 2 fighters who I really do think we need to watch out for this year is, the first one is Tom Ramsden.
Oh, yes.
Yes. He's come back, had a couple of draws from last year. I'm not sure if he got a win or not. Am I wrong? I'm not sure, but he definitely got a couple of draws last year.
I think he might have.
He might have had a win as well.
And a couple of draws, yeah.
Yes, but I think this year, I think he's one to watch out for, to cause a couple of shocks. I know Matty Teagle was already put on that he's already got 3 fights lined up this year. So it looks like he's going to be busy again. And like Matty always says, his trainer, he comes to give these prospects a go. And if they're there to be taken, the result to be had, he's going to take it. So he's definitely going to be a danger man this year. So I think number 1 to watch out for this year is Tom Ramsden. And number 2, yet again, another young lad who got the shortlist this year but didn't quite make it to the top 3 is young Shane Smith, who's just started.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't been going 12 months yet, has he? And he's already had a couple of good results on the road, and he's getting very well looked after by Adam Harper. And I think, again, this year, he's young, he's hungry, and he's going to go out there, and I think he's going to cause a few upsets again. And a bit like what Matty said, Adam Harper says the same. If the result's there, they're going to go get it. And it seems to me there's a few of these young lads now who are going out there, and they're not just holding back and they're going to be there just to dance around. There's a couple of these two I think, who actually want to go and get a few wins here and there. So I think they're my 2 to watch out for this year going forward.
Well, I remember, Shane, he only made his debut sort of like 12 months ago, if that. And then I think he did 10 fights last year, and he got a result in 3 of them.
Yeah.
A couple of wins and a draw.
And I think he also got stopped as well towards the end, so that's a month off as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I had the pleasure of seconding him with Adam Harper, and you could just tell he's got all the tools to do this job perfectly. in the away corner. So, yeah, and he's number 2 to watch out for, I think. And what about yourself, mate? Is anyone you're looking forward to seeing this year?
I just follow you, mate.
You do, mate, do you? Well, I think we're going to probably have... I think we're going to probably see Jake Pollard knocking up the 100 this year, which will be good to see. It's been a long time coming and deserves it.
What is he currently on now?
78, 79, is he?
Right, yeah, feasible.
And I know I wish him good luck because I know he's next week as well. But when this episode comes out, he's going to do his seconds course next week, so
right.
I'm sure he'll be fine. And before we know it, he'll be doing everything, Jake. When he'll be in corner with a Beal, if he's not fighting, there'll be no weekend spare for that Pollard. I'm telling you, mate.
He's a proper one-man band, isn't he?
He is, mate. Nothing stops him, is it? If he's not going to, so I think after this year, when he gets his seconds licence, which I'm sure he will, I think 1 week if he's not fighting, he'll be out cornering somebody in second. I can guarantee you that, mate. So, yeah, it'd be good to see that. And I think it'd be also nice to see Jake Bray get 50 up this year if possible. And then always, we're going to have the usual road warriors, aren't we? We aren't failed. Dale Harris-Smith will be knocking about, as always. Jordan Granham. The Camden caretaker will be knocking about if he decides to not cause too many upsets. Robbie Chapman and the usual, and Jake Osgood. And Ryan LeBon as well, I think. He'll be out quite a lot this year. He's already had one this year. He had his first fight last Saturday. So he set the bar high for him, really. He's got the first fight in, so he's one ahead at the minute.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be a good year ahead, hopefully. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and, more results. I mean, basically what we do is I'll wake up on a Sunday, I'll have a message from you saying so-and-so got a draw or a win or whatever, and I'll ask you for a photo, and then we can't find one. So then we end up getting something, and I'll stick a post out. And do you know, I just seem to think this year there'd been more.
There has been a lot more.
A lot more than the previous year.
Yeah.
But obviously, and as I say, it's hard to keep a track. So, as a few of you have done these past 12 months, if we miss one, if you know of someone getting a result, give us a shout.
Yeah, and a few people do that, and it's really appreciated.
Yeah.
By all means, keep on doing that and keep on giving us a push.
But it's like, I know you do all the research on that side of things, but it's, as good as it is, BoxRec's not exactly always on top at game, is it?
No, but like you just said there as well, we have got a few guys out there who are in this field, and sometimes I'll be at home on a Saturday evening and I'll get a voice message off certain people like Jack Gladman or something like that, and or other fighters and training will say, hey Mark, so-and-so's got a result tonight, that's a good result. And we really appreciate that. It makes my job and your job that little bit easier, because it's hard to find sometimes, because even the Boxing Board of Control, sometimes the results don't come in while 7 days later. So unless we're at the show, or unless some people tell us, we can't obviously get the results all the time. We do try as best. But yeah, but please, if everyone does get a result and we don't put it out there, please let us know, guys. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, very true. So I suppose we can wrap this one up. Look forward to more interviews, more away shows, more everything in 2025.
Yeah, just keep sharing away, guys. Keep subscribing. I never thought I'd say that because I sound like a stupid YouTuber now, like our George watching. But yeah, it really helps. And just keep sharing us around, guys, and we'll get bigger. And the bigger we become, the more we can do, guys. So we look forward to bringing you some more content in this Series 7, is it, mate?
Series 7.
And I promise you, guys, we've got some good lads lined up. Yeah,
we certainly have. And that's down to you, mate. So we'll see you again in Series 7.
See you later, mate. Look forward to it.
The Journeyman Cave is produced by James Proud. Music by Ryan Carrier. Special thanks to Rhythm Inc. Studios for hosting. All views expressed are of the guests only. The Journeyman Cave and host bear no responsibility for any opinions given. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter @The Journeyman Cave.